Welcome to the No Filter Fitness of Moms Who Lift podcast, where we bring you real people, real stories, with an action plan to match your goals.
Can be definitely fused into this.
Yes.
Thinking about the mindset, just like you said. Again, when we first entered this pandemic, and I think that you and I talked about it, all we wanted, that's when
We did not want the gym to close. You're like, no. I cannot imagine not doing my normal things, right?
And now many of us, you realize, well, I don't really want to go. So to us, it's our mindset. Was it hard for it to change? Holy moly, was it hard?
Yeah.
We all had a very difficult time. Some people had it, experienced it one way, some another, but we all went through extremely difficult, emotional, what's the word? Emotional molding, or emotional traction, or emotional breakdowns in a way to break from the old.
It was like a tug of war.
Yes, break
tug
from
of
the
war,
old and embrace the new, or somehow move forward. This is the same thing with the way that we think, what we need to do to look a certain way, or what we feel our body needs. It's all in your mind. So
it is in your mind, absolutely.
What happened to us with our lifestyle over the last 12 weeks and how we feel about it now should give us a clear belief that whatever we feel about the way we look is, guess where?
It's all in your mind.
Hi everybody, moms who lift
And moms who hike.
and moms who hike. Bringing you the next episode of the podcast. And our subject today is back to reopening stage, back to our old ways of, I don't like the ways this sounds, old ways, back to the usual ways, or back to the old normal.
The old normal, right?
The old normal. Things have started to reopen. We can get back to the gyms in Maryland, I guess next week, back to the restaurants, and slowly, little by little, we're getting back things that we were asking for when it first started 12 weeks ago. Now, the question is, do we want all of those things back? Or have we came to some soul searching and realized that some things we really are much better off without? It's really interesting, I think, how at self-discovery, or maybe self-understanding of which things are in your mind and which things we just adapting to, or is it never-ending adaptation to what's in front of us? It's really interesting how things work. You have anything to add, Yana? Because I'm gonna keep talking. This was definitely an eye-opening experience for me.
Yeah, so I think to add on, and I forgot what the topic is about.
The topic is about because we're living in such an unexpected environment.
Yes.
We are living in such a today that it's very normal. Like and I, we said it just as we don't know which day is it today, so we're living in such a moment, really. We are living in a moment. We learn to accept, the joy of the moment, or the sadness of the moment without thinking. So even like thinking about what is the main topic. We're hiking. So we decided to do the podcast while we hike, because something that we never were able to do before is to go hiking. Too busy, working, working out, just things. And hiking is something new that we tried, and it's actually a fun thing to do. And
yes,
but
we do not want it to end. But unfortunately, all good things sometimes to an end.
So the point, our topic, is things are reopening. We're back to the old normal, or things that you couldn't live without. You're back to your heavy weights. You're back to your gym. It's very soon you're gonna be back to your job. Back to the traffic. Back to standing in traffic. Back to your Starbucks.
Maybe
though.
not.
But then you can get as much Starbucks as you want, because you make back your money. You're back into, so the Starbucks in the morning, do we, are we, it's,
Well, I
it's,
never did Starbucks in the morning.
well,
I
Starbucks in
just
the afternoon.
no, sometimes.
Right. I mean, when we got into the pandemic, and obviously lost the jobs, we started not doing things that we did before, and I was missing my Starbucks. I really was. Now I'm totally fine with making my coffee in the morning, my 4 cups, and spilling it all over my car.
And not being upset. Not being upset, right?
So right. So I'm okay with that. I do like my Starbucks, but the idea is, how are we feeling about going back to what we did
What
before?
we did before.
Uh,
So I think there's kind of two ways to look at it. For some individuals who have been working, for them,
Unfortunately, they can't.
unfortunately, they can experience, because if they were always in the office and they had to drive to the office and now they're working at home, if you don't have kids, it's, I think, a lot easier to stay home and not have to deal with your kids being home who are screaming and crying.
Little kids.
Yeah, little kids. But even if older kids, you still have them in a sense there that are probably nagging you, this, that. So in a sense, those individuals, I don't know, how much they can relate or not, but nevertheless, the people who are now working at home who have kids, for some, I think they may be actually looking forward to getting out, and for others, probably are like, no, this is great. I actually love this. I get to have the best of both worlds. You know what I mean? Now, in terms of, I think, training, like for someone who has been in the gym all the time training, and you have a very busy schedule going from work to gym life to kids to social, all these things. I don't know. For some, it might be exciting to get back to it, and then for others, you're like, you know what, this break or this pause, you want to call it, has really maybe opened up your eyes to different aspects of your life, different possibilities. Maybe it made you rethink about things that you never really thought about, that you actually liked or wanted to do or wanted to experience. I mean, like personally for me, I've always liked outdoors, but because of the way my schedule was, right, I was never really had the chance to be able to have this ability to go out and for hours either go hiking or go biking or just explore. And for me, I don't want it to end. I like it. So to some degree it probably can stay, but it won't stay at the dosages it is staying now, because of the it's going to be, again, time restraints.
Right.
But it's a good lesson, because I think during this time every individual probably got to learn something about themselves that they never knew.
Right. And it's, I think, as a self-discovery, like I mentioned, is we're so, when we feel a certain way, it is so real to us that even when we try to change it and think a different way, we can't, we really cannot believe that different way. For me, being super busy with what I love to do, and it's all, my work has always been my passion, always, my whole life. And now it was kind of taken away because I'm in the industry that was, got hit one of the most, we all got hit hard, but the gyms got closed. You cannot do any kind of a personal service, like, the hair, but not that I'm in the hair, but.
Is that your new epiphany? You want to be the hair business?
Yes. So, and at first it was like I just needed it to open. I could never see myself doing anything else or doing anything any other way. And of course I got adjusted to doing things a little differently. And in a way that I've got adjusted is online training, that virtual Zoom. Do I prefer it over personal? No. But I am so actually satisfied with ability to be able to connect to a couple of the people that I was not able to connect before, and actually during that quarantine help them to get fitter, to learn those new habits. So now I'm better. I'm okay with doing things online. Would I prefer it over the gym? No, but I'm okay, because for some people it actually will make more sense, especially the one that have to travel to the gym. Now they can do it online, and so something like this that I never believed that I could possibly do. And another way is like doing things outdoor, like let's say hiking. I really didn't know what hiking is necessarily. To me it was like walking, and I hate walking. I would either run or I don't run. But with hiking, it's actually a great workout because Ya and I were talking about, we found some trails that's actually like rock climbing, and some trails that are going very steep, and it's really like
Challenges
challenging
your
your stances. So
Yes.
again, so try found something like as an outdoor fitness. Certainly not going to be doing it because it takes too long. Certainly it's easier, will be much more faster and time efficient to go in and do a cycle class. 45 minutes, you burn the calories
Yeah.
and you're done.
In and out,
In and
yeah.
out. But again, something that I never believed in. Now I realize that it's actually okay. So self-discovery in the sense that you really need to live in the moment so much that not that you shouldn't be planning for the future, you should, but that's not what we're talking about. But really living in the moment is extremely important. And I think for me, it would give me a little more of the assurance that it's actually a good way. It's something that I want to do more, to live in the moment, wake up and not really anticipate what's happening, but rather, just let it happen.
Just let it happen, yeah. Well, I agree with you.
Still have to prepare things for tomorrow and plan things that I do, but it gets a little deeper. I guess that was a nice reset. And do I want to go back to exactly the way things were for me? Probably not, because I am, it definitely pushed me to rethink my business model and what I do and what I enjoy and how much I enjoy it, and discovered the way that I want to do things going forward. So yes, so this reopening, I guess one other thing that I will add before I forget. So the fact that the reopening for me, it caused me and maybe some other people anxiety. Wow, everything is reopening. Why am I not happy? Well, because it's okay, because you already have, as much as we didn't want to adjust to the way things were, we did adjust it, and we found that something that we enjoy in that different way, even through pandemic, so we don't want to let us go. So it's a normal your body response to get a little bit of a, not a worry, trying to find a positive word, a little apprehensive, I guess, about, oh wow, it's opening, am I ready, am I not ready? It's okay, it's normal, it's typical. Just, gives you an opportunity to go red trail or they'll go green trail.
Or you have a white one that you didn't even know exists, apparently.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yes, so to kind of touch base on some things that you said, I think for us as humans, we have a tendency, right, to just adjust. This is what we're good at. We're able to adapt and adjust to whatever is kind of thrown at us. And once we do adapt and adjust, we want to stay there. So no matter even if it's a positive or a negative, once you make it happen, you make it happen.
Yes.
And then it becomes more difficult to try to transition and go either forwards or wherever you want to go from that.
Yes.
So if you were training all the time and now you did not have the ability to train for, this extended period of time, or you had to modify your training, yes, you're worried. It's like, how am I going to come back to do these things? Or do I really want this? And for some people, honestly, they may have changed their mind and said, you know what, I found different priorities in my life, and certain things are going to take precedence over what I was doing before. And for other individuals, it might be the opposite, where they said, no, what I did before is still important to me, but I may now address it in a different way, right? You may approach it in a different in different steps, or do things a little bit differently in your life, which is perfectly normal. But I think that uncertainty is what we always fear of, but we should actually embrace the uncertainty because
of what happened.
Because of the uncertainty it's a good thing. It's what gives you a future in a sense, right?
It gives us
It gives you something maybe that you can create different for yourself and not anticipate, because anticipation also creates that anxiety and fear in us. So it's just kind of going, as we say, with a flow, just let it go, like go with whatever you're feeling and you want to do in a sense.
It's very philosophical, and it's almost for me. I feel it's.
Oh, hello.
It's actually, this trail is definitely more civil because we found
two people.
We see two people. Yesterday when we went on the trail and we stopped seeing anyone, that was
a red light.
That was a red light. No, that's when I discovered what trail mix is about.
That's right. Do tell your audience about the trail mix theory.
when I got hungry and had no food, so I told Yana that maybe next time we should bring lunch or something to eat. And
My
Yana said,
response said, "What am I going to bring? A whole backpack of food?"
and I said, well, it's not going to be a powerlifting lunch with steak and broccoli and rice. It has to be something small, portable. And then somehow I got an epiphany that when I go to the store, I see in sections I see the mix like of little things, nuts and dried fruit called trail mix. So I realized it's so portable. That's why it's called trail mix, because you're supposed to take it with you on a trail. That's how it got its name. I shared it with Yana, but she did not think that this is how it got its name, so she Googled it. Guess what? That's exactly why it was named, because it's very portable and it has everything you need when you're on a trail. It has your fats, it has your carbs, and it has, although not full, but some protein from your nuts. So
you
that's
go.
very interesting. She discovered new things,
Such a trail.
and they are extremely trivial in such a philosophical subject as coming to the back to the old normal, the one that we were so afraid to lose.
Yes.
It's definitely a great. I wonder how much our kids can experience that. I think you really need to be an adult and you have to have some life experience to understand what we're talking about.
Yeah,
Because for
absolutely.
kids, they just want things to open. They just want to go back to normal. They
Yeah.
don't have this. I've discovered something. Really, they discovered that no school is. Some of them want school back because
Yes.
it's fun.
It was a social thing.
Yeah.
We definitely we as humans are social creatures. We do. We need to socialize. We need to have some sort of communities and some sort of people around us that we typically hang out with, and this is kind of was taken away from us
Right.
for a while,
Right.
and hopefully it won't be taken away from us again.
Again, right? But we have the ways to deal with that now better, so it's going to be under control. It should be next time something like this rises, as far as the virus. But yes, since we were going back and forth with our theme today, coming back when things started opening, did we think 12 weeks ago, when things gonna start opening, we're gonna be at all apprehensive? We thought that we're just gonna flood into the places, and it's just gonna be flooded with just joy. And now I see a lot of people are kind of pulling back, and you know what? I'm not ready yet. Doesn't mean that they're necessarily afraid of virus, really. It doesn't
They're
mean
just
that
not
they-
ready to go back to how their
Yes.
life was pre-quarantine in a
Yes.
sense, and that's a good thing. That means you've had some sort of shifts or changes in your life, that you probably are thinking about what's important, what's not important, and what can be better, what you can change. So, hello. Look at that. Third time now we've seen people. This is a popular trail.
Yes, because it's very civil. So I think that this is this is a great opportunity to take some habits that you developed, and at least may not continue to do them. But if it's something like you starting the exercise program, you may not be able to continue it exactly the way that you've done it, but just transfer it in the new circumstances. So if you discovered something that you enjoy, find a way to keep it. Just maybe on a way smaller scale, but still keep it, because it's good. I mean, trusting your intuition that you something that you enjoyed while other things were not available. That may be the next thing that you want to keep doing, even when your old things are available.
Yeah.
Either opportunities to train, or even the way you ate. Maybe you discovered a different way that you eat and it really worked for you. Maybe not, so go back to the old way.
Yes. If you have been gaining weight, it is not a good habit
To do.
to do.
But I
Exactly.
think it's a great. That's kind of was a very good one way subject of why are we not totally excited and have no other feelings that the feeling of excitement of getting back our life.
Yes.
Why are we a little uncertain about it? So I mean, for me that was really strange, and I didn't know why. But thinking about it, I realized that we wanted to share it with you.
Yes. And I think we should also share another topic that we were just talking about as we were hiking is about um, we were just talking about how much we were talking about training in a sense, how much is too much training, and then also about again we get constantly this this I think this notion of looks again of you know people or especially women they've again been conditioned to look a certain way, right, through again social media, through magazines and so forth. And I think it's very it becomes very unhealthy that to some level as to the amount of dieting and training that someone thinks they need to do in order to look a certain way, or that they must look that way. In particular, the way they are seeing certain models portrayed, in these photo shoots and, obviously being on stage and so forth. And I think that's, again, as much as we've covered, I think, this topic before, this topic is a never-ending topic. That's something that needs to be constantly revisited and talked about because it's a big thing. It's a mindset that it's not going to be an overnight. It's not something that's going to happen overnight with an individual. It takes, I think, quite some time for that person to really realize and understand that what you see on social media, what you see in magazines, what you see on pictures, these are events that an individual prepared for. They do not live their life and look the way they do in that picture. That they are either posting on social media, and by the way, most of the pictures that they post is once they actually dieted down to an event or a photo shoot. They take many pictures in many different outfits, and guess what? They use those pictures throughout the year to promote themselves, promote their products, whatever the case may be. And you're constantly thinking that this is how they look all year round, but they don't.
Can be definitely fused into this.
Yes.
Thinking about the mindset, just like you said. Again, when we first entered this pandemic, and I think that you and I talked about it, all we wanted, that's we knew.
We did not want the gym to close. You're like, no. I cannot imagine not doing my normal things, right?
And now many of us, you realize, well, I don't really want to go. So to us, it's our mindset. Was it hard for it to change? Holy moly, was it hard?
Yeah.
We all had a very difficult time. Some people had it, experienced it one way, some another, but we all went through extremely difficult, emotional, what's the word? Emotional molding or emotional traction or emotional breakdowns in a way to break from the old.
It was like a tug of war.
Yes, break from the old and embrace the new or somehow move forward. This is the same thing with the way that we think, what we need to do to look a certain way or what we feel our body needs. It's all in your mind. So
it is in your mind, absolutely.
What happened to us with our lifestyle over the last 12 weeks and how we feel about it now should give us a clear belief that whatever we feel about the way we look is, guess where?
It's all in your mind.
Just like what's happening. So if our mind can make us feel something that we never thought, whoever thought that at the end of 12 weeks we are not going to be flooding the gym? There people are not, and many of you are not, or flooding the restaurants or whatever. Same thing here. It's a mindset. It's a mindset. We didn't think it's going to happen. Same as here. We don't think, no, I like the way I look. I want to look a certain way. I want to train a certain way. I need to be doing this. No, it's got to take, it has to take a pandemic or something that to change your brain. At least rely on your intuition. Understand. Look what happened to the way I think through this. So I need to something happen to my head to think about the way I look, and the way I train, whatever it might be. It's a lot of the mindset. So mindset training should become a little more.
You should be more focused on instead of, as much as we always keep focusing. We've discussed this again. we focus so much on training our body because we want our body to look a certain way, but we forget and neglect the biggest piece, which is our mindset, because your mind will ultimately drive everything your body does. And when you have a mindset that is not very appreciative of yourself, and that's very true for many, you don't appreciate, one, what your body can do for you, and number two, you keep trying to compare yourself to other individuals. You keep chasing a certain look that you think you need to look like because you saw a picture, someone told you something. Even of yourself. It doesn't matter. Someone told you something. Yeah. That becomes already, again, that gets instilled in your brain, and you're chasing something that is not attainable. Yeah. And sometimes you need to be able to just literally stop and just look at yourself and say, I am proud of what I have been able to accomplish. I am proud to be able to do what I do. I am proud to look. Do I need to look like that model in that picture? No, I don't. You may want to. If your goal is to get on stage, go ahead. But please understand that that model that looks that way she looks like that for one day. Literally one day. She trains her entire life, and it takes months and months and months of extreme. This is not normal lifestyles. This is not healthy. As much as the media portrays, I'm sorry to say, they portray it as if this is a healthy lifestyle. It is not a healthy lifestyle. It's an extreme. It's an extreme to be able to look like that for one day. And then after that, that individual is not able to sustain it anymore. Most of them gain back more weight than they normally do, especially if they crash dieted to get there. And then other individuals that actually understand the science of it, they have to gain weight because their goal is to gain muscle. You cannot gain muscle if you do not gain the weight. Gain back some of that weight. Yes. You are not able to stay that lean all year round. Just period, the end. It's just a reality.
So training your mind should definitely be something that should come out of this pandemic as a priority, because if circumstances could train our mind to do what it does to mold us to experiencing a different things and being okay with that, then training our mind to see ourselves in a different way and set a different goal and truly be okay with it, wanting it more than just unrealistic something that just anxiety driven and stress rising looks.
Yes. That
was a good episode.
I know. I like it. We're back to hiking. We're going to check you guys out next week. Maybe while we're hiking again.
That's right.